Well, this is about choosing the right kind of friends for a Cure Team member. We do have to be careful about the caliber of our friends. Of course, we're talking about the right kind of Facebook friends. You can associate with whatever riffraff you want when you're not, around me. Well, as you see, let me backtrack a little bit here. I should probably get serious with this because I'm going to confuse everybody otherwise. One of the reasons I started the Cure Team is because I realized that the people I was working with needed to make new friends. The friends that they had were, for the most part, going nowhere. Occasionally, one of their friends would come down with something and they'd start curing things for that reason. But otherwise, they weren't finding the people who are, the world is full of people out there in the world who are visionary enough to appreciate what the Cure Team is, and what the Cure Drive is, and how we cure things and all that good stuff. But probably they're not the people you hung around with in high school. I mean, that's what I discovered. Anyway, because some of my people I knew then are still they're in my Facebook page, they're in my Facebook friends, And maybe they'll go somewhere someday if we get a valid Cure Team going that's really that's really playing. They'll see that, because some of them did join other things, like Mother Mary joined other things I did. So maybe Mother Mary will be on the Cure Team. By this time she may be already, Then you'll know who she is, if she is, but right now she ain't. Okay, so onward, yes. So I realized that people needed new friends. And I was looking on Facebook and I saw that there were some people on Facebook who have 5,000 friends, and that's because they're doing presumably something that people like and people find them and friend them, So I started thinking, well, gee, I want to have 150 people on a Cure Team with 5,000 Facebook friends each. And immediately everybody started laughing when I said that. It was like, because it's preposterous. And it's an interesting word, preposterous, because I'm reading a book on change called Switch. It's about making the switch. It's not about being switched, okay? It's different. This is a different usage of the word. It's about making how do you get doctors to make a switch to a better, operating procedure, let's say. It can be very difficult. A lot of them just stick with the same old thing that they always did. They just won't change. So anyway, in the book, it was talking about there was somebody who proposed a change, and I'll tell you the story. It's an interesting story. Actually, now I just remembered the story. It's about drilling for oil, actually. I can't remember the name of the drilling company anymore. Was it Marathon Oil, maybe? But anyway, if you're into business, you may know, because you may have heard this story. It's a famous story. But the new CEO came in and he realized that, they do these projections. And they can tell, they can create a percentage probability that a well is going to come in, So some wells have a 90% and some have a 10% and so on. And the idea that these guys, a lot of these guys, the exploration guys were going on was that, if you drill 10 wells that each has a 10% probability, you'll get a well. Not really. That just didn't work. They would drill 10 wells and get no well, That's the way it actually turned out. But see, the other side of it was that if something had a 90% probability of bringing a strike, usually it brought a strike almost 100% of the time. Like when the projection was 90%, almost every single one of them. Like if you drilled 10 of those, you'd probably get 10 wells. You know, 10 producing wells. So the CE, you know, and these guys, see, also these exploration guys were salesmen, so they'd come in, you know, to the home office, and they'd say, "Hey, I found some here. There's a 30% chance of a strike here, you know." And they'd sell it, you know. They'd beef up the numbers. They'd do whatever. Like they'd give it a 10% chance when really the chance was pretty well zero. But they couldn't find anything, so they'd make 10 proposals that had a 10% chance each. Anyway, what he came out with, he said, no more dry wells at all. 100% strikes. That's what we're going to do. And the first word they used was, "But that's preposterous." You know, no kidding. You know, they used the same word. We got the word from somebody who didn't make it on the cure team. Who was when I told him what my goal was, he said, "That's preposterous. It's so preposterous." You know, he ended up just not being on the cure team. And he's a great guy, sweet person, and a real immuner too. But the cure team just wasn't for him. You know. Or to put it another way, he wasn't of our caliber. I mean, here's this guy who's been donating for years, you know, and tried other things. Like, he tried having meetings where he lives, I think he lives in Missouri. And he tried having, you know, meetings there, put up notices all over the place, you know, in like laundromats and so on, you know, that he's going to have meetings and show people. I don't know what he wrote on the notices, but come to my meeting, you know, it was free, you know, free meetings on Wednesday nights and stuff. And never got it to happen, you know. And there are so many people actually do create little groups that do happen of their friends and so on, but it never really creates anything that's of any importance, you know. It's not like the world finds out about it because these people exist. But they're out there, all these little groups are out there, you know, they're doing their thing, whatever it is, you know. I've been hearing about them for years, and it just goes on, and you see no result that's visible here. And of course, out there, those people are probably saying, "Of course we're getting it. This is a great result, you know. Joe cured a sniffle the other day, and you know, Sam's back problem cleared up," and they may even get like miracle cures for all I know, but you never hear about it. Never hear about it. You know? You know, because the truth is that this has to be a shared consciousness, and you just can't have this little thing and hope that a shared consciousness is going to come out of it, because you know, the noosphere just doesn't work like that. You know, if you ever read Teilhard de Chardin, you get an idea of how the noosphere actually works. And one of the things he said, you know, I actually did a paper on him in college, so I have a sophomore's view of Teilhard de Chardin. But anyway, during that, you know, one of the things he said was that when proteins occurred in the ocean, like there was a time when there were no proteins in the ocean, and his theory was that it was sudden and it was global. It wasn't like a little protein here and a little protein there, and it would just like you know, and like eventually there were more of them. But he said suddenly there were just proteins everywhere. He said it went from no proteins to teeming with life, you know. So that's how he actually created kind of a mathematical formula about it using his theories of radial and tertiary energy. And what he was saying is that radial energy is the center, and the tertiary energy approaches the radius, and it actually kind of swings around it. That was something that Kepler talked about, you know, who was an astronomer, like how if a particle went into orbit around another like another body in space, it would approach it, and as it was going past it, if it fell into its gravitational orbit and its exit speed wasn't high enough to escape, it didn't have a high enough escape velocity, it would just start swinging around, and it would swing into this elliptical orbit. And this is exactly what Tilliard was talking about with evolution. So, anyway, I mean, how did I get started on this? I'm trying to talk to you about making new friends, right? But this is, of course, what we're trying to do, is we are slowly, really through intense personal relationships, you know, which seems very slow and very, very quiet. And what we're doing is we're trying to approach a critical mass. And I believe that 150 people can create a global shift. I actually think that. Preposterous though it is, you know, that's what it is, preposterous. But I think that 10 people are not enough, and maybe 100 people might be enough, but I think 150 people could definitely do it, for sure. Especially if those people all knew each other, if they were all watching each other, and if they were all communicating with each other and working together as a team. So you wouldn't have... Greg was reminding me of a military term that I used to use sometimes, but he's inside of it, you know, and it's the multiplication of force. Like if you add people, force multiplies. It doesn't add. It doesn't add force when you add people. It multiplies force. So that's the idea here, you know, that we're going on in order to tip this, see, into global consciousness. And what you want to see, you'll know it's in global consciousness when you're watching CSI Miami, and the the detective is is in the lab looking at the all the different things that the guys from the field brought in that she's got to analyze. And she's going, well, should I test? She's testing, like, should I start with this one, oh, this one, okay, and she does, yes, you know. Or Dexter Morgan is like analyzing blood spatters on one of these crime scenes, and his finger starts moving, he goes, should I go outside? Well, I'm guessing, what's my finger moving? Oh, there's something outside I should look at. Oh, and he walks out there and he goes, warmer. Oh, a little thread on a cactus this person left. And then you'll know it's tipped into global consciousness, you know. Okay, so with that, I'll tell you that with that as my preface, I'll tell you that what I started doing when I started with this, okay, when I started doing this, I went on Facebook and I said, okay, I got to make more Facebook friends. I need to set an example. It wasn't necessarily that I thought I should have 5,000 Facebook friends. It was that I thought I needed to set an example for the rest of the Cure team, because I think everybody on the Cure team needs 5,000 Facebook friends. So what I did is I said, okay, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to start friending people. And, you know, it has these little things up here. It says, you may know this person or that. And I just friended each one of them. Boom, 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 boom. And I did this for a while, and then all of a sudden Facebook said, you know, do you know this person? You know, they started throwing up these challenges, you know. You shouldn't friend anybody unless you know them, you know. It's like, but that wasn't what I came here for, you know. I didn't want to friend people I know. I want to friend people I don't know, because I need new friends. That was what I saw Facebook as, a place to find new friends. And of course it is, and it advertises it as that, you know. And also they have all these ads for meet women who want older men, you know, because they know I'm 66, so they think this guy is looking for a girlfriend. He's single. What is he doing with himself? He needs a girlfriend, you know. Suddenly they're my mother. I thought she died. You should find a nice girl. Settle down, you know. Thank you. Okay. Then there's another one, women with money looking for partners. That interested me. But not enough to actually answer the ad, fortunately. Anyway, those are not the kinds of new friends I'm looking for. I'm looking for new friends who are interested in, global healing, actually. They don't necessarily have to have anything to cure, but they need to be interested in curing things and so on, and they need to, want to do this, okay. But I didn't know, and also I was friending my friends' friends, which is a very good thing to do, and so I started friending all Greg's friends and Barb's friends and so on, and that was great, But at some point Facebook started challenging me, and then after a while they froze my account for a couple of days so I couldn't friend anybody. And the second time they did that, I started to realize that it is actually pretty tedious to sit there and friend these people, I didn't really ever want to do it. I was just trying to set an example, But maybe it wasn't such a good example to set. So I stopped friending people. And I also sort of stopped, for a while I didn't tell anybody to friend everybody, blah, 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 I didn't tell anybody to do that anymore. And then I suddenly realized, because my thing expired and then I could friend people again, and I was looking on Wendy Sandquist's Facebook wall, and a friend of hers liked one of the movies that she posted about curing things, one of the Cure Drive movies. And I clicked on the friend and realized this friend was not a friend of mine. It was a friend of only of Wendy's. And this was somebody who I should friend. So I friended that person. And then I noticed people clicking on my movies, and out of curiosity, I assumed they were friends of mine, but actually some of them weren't. And they had clicked on things on my Facebook wall because I share with everybody. So I friended those people. They were not my Facebook friends. And the interesting thing about this is when I was doing the other thing, a lot of the people who I friended never approved my friendship. But when I did this, almost, maybe even 100% of the people who I asked to be my friends were my friends. They chose to friend me back. They chose to confirm me. So then I realized that these are the right people to friend because they're actually interested. And what I need to do is look at everybody else's posts, the movies that they're posting, and see who likes those movies, and make those people my Facebook friends. And that means we need 150 Facebook friends, because when you have 150 people, you can just go down the person's wall and see who's liking the movies they're posting and friend those people. And you can get a lot of Facebook friends that way. Now, another thing I noticed is that people are asking to be my friend almost every single day. 2 or 3 people ask to be my Facebook friends. And they're not going to stop me from confirming people. They're just going to stop me from asking people. So I always confirm those people immediately. And so my friends is growing. And I'm realizing that the reason more people are asking me to friend me is because a lot more people are posting, like the Cure Dream team, the Dream Team, Cure Team, the Dream Team are posting movies with me, some of them, or just me talking or whatever, and people are finding me and wanting to know me. And when you guys click like on each other and also maybe post things on each other's walls, your friends will their friends will friend you. And so you can find more Facebook friends that way. And these are going to be people who are actually interested and maybe who need help. And maybe who need your help. And maybe who like the looks of you. So So this is now what I'm thinking about getting 5,000 Facebook friends. It's slower, but the 5,000 friends will be a lot better. So that's my little story, and I just want to thank you for watching this and for being on the Cure team and for making new friends, because the truth is you do need new friends, you know, and you need new friends who are like-minded, who are involved, and who really will play with you. We all need that. You know, too many of us have been stuck with a whole bunch of friends who just weren't playing with us. You know, we tell them about something and they say, oh, that's great for you, but I'm not interested in that. You know, they were just old friends from years ago, and there was a time when you really did share a lot of interests. You know, like Little Richard, and in my case, you know, Stevie Wonder and stuff, you know. But at this point, you know, I need some new ones. So that's it. That's how you get your 5,000 right Facebook friends. See you later. And that is our movie. Now, I just want to say that if you want to speak to somebody, I would be available, possibly, and also my outgoing message on my phone does give instructions about how to start if you haven't started yet. So, or you can just, you know, leave me a message and I'll get back to you. So please feel free to call me. I'd be happy to speak to you. And here's my number. It's 813-672-3419. And I hope you enjoyed this movie. And it's fine to call me up and just tell me how you felt about it.